Thanks, Coach.
Matt, back to you.
Yeah, hey Dave, you committed to going to Arlington before anybody really knew what this was, and the games down there have obviously grown out into multiple weekends now. Why do you think this has been such a successful venture for the Rangers?
I think that it's because of the way the tournaments run. Uh, is a lot. There's a lot. It's run really well. The players are treated well. The teams are good. Obviously, the feed's incredible. The hotels are right there. Connect to the stadium, right across the street from the stadium. There's some things to do around the ballpark as far as restaurants. It's a really good setup. I mean, it starts with your practice on Thursday. I mean, you got a grounds crew that treats you good. A lot of times you get to these pro parks, these grounds crews, they're a little fussy and they don't really like what's going on. And you're tearing up to their field and all that type of stuff. And you don't get that feeling here. And I've been in a lot of tournaments over the years, and it's just a little bit different feel. And then the fact that it's so good for us because of the location and 5.5 hours south. We have a lot of alumni in the Metroplex area, and then a lot of our fans from Arkansas or this area like to get away, and they can drive if they wish, fly, whatever. It just makes sense, honestly.
You mentioned Cam Kozel the other day. I think you threw out a lot of positions that you might put him at. I think you might have even said catcher. I don't know if you were joking or not there. But realistically, if he were to get into the lineup and it wasn't at second base, what are the spots where he could compete?
Well, he can play a lot of positions. Right now, obviously our third baseman's doing really well. But if there was an injury or needed a day off, he could go to third. We could put him in first, and we've worked him out there a little bit. So you start talking outfield, probably do that. And yeah, I've talked to Cam a couple of times. I think the latest was last week about you know catching, that something he might want to try because he's a left-handed hitter and he's very strong and physical. You saw what happened when the big boy ran into him the other day. It didn't even phase him. And it's you never know. We've had some infielders here that have become catchers and did pretty good job. And obviously Tom Pagnozzi's the first one you mentioned, and then Jimmy Kramer's a long time ago in like 1985 was a third baseman out of Little Rock and hit left-handed, and there was things going on there, put him behind the plate. He made it to the big leagues as a catcher. And so you never know. Just looking at body styles and attitude and their makeup and toughness, and you can see a little bit of traits of a catcher, and whatever. But he's a good ball player, and he cares about the team, wants the team to win. Even when he's not playing, he's standing right up there getting after it and cheering his teammates on, and I really appreciate that.
Hey, and I got one more for you on Arlington. When you played TCU down there 2 years ago, there were 21,000 people in the stands. And last year, I think when you played Oklahoma State, there were 17, 18,000. These are huge crowds, some of the biggest outside of Omaha every year. Does it ever get old playing in front of that? And what's that experience like for the kids or the guys who have not played in there before?
Yeah, I don't think it'll ever get old. I mean, that's pretty exciting when you think about it. First couple of weeks of the season, you get to play in front of 15,000 plus, maybe 20,000 plus, and it's something I think the players really enjoy. It gives them an opportunity to hear it, see it, just get the feel of what it's like to be in that type of atmosphere that's not your home park. And I think the experience that you gain from that, I don't see how it could not help you down the road.
Levi, go ahead.
Coach, with the talent that you'll be facing from these squads from TCU, K-State, and Michigan, how does this talent compare to what you'll see later on in SEC play?
Well, I'll probably be able to talk about that more on Monday or next week, but just on paper and you see what's going on, you have two of the teams. I mean, they've all gone on the road, but two of the teams are 4-0 on the road, which is really impressive. So that tells you something there about the talent. And You start with Michigan. I mean, they really hit the ball, scored a lot of runs this weekend, did a great job. They fielded it as well. They only made a couple errors, and TCU does what they do. They find ways to win. They'll hit, they'll field, they pitch, and K-State coming out of the cold like they did and heading down to I think South Carolina or way down south, playing some really good teams. Probably the team that's going to obviously the most frustrated coming in, and they're going to give a great effort. And I know Pete Hughes, their coach, pretty well, and you follow his track record, especially after that loss last night, because it felt like it was a game that they feel like they should have won. And watching it, that's what I saw. I think the competition is going to be great. And, comparing it to the rest of the league is hard to say. Um, but it's definitely, to me, no knock on Washington State. They had a lot of new guys. They traveled, they've been outside. They had a solid team. They really didn't walk us till the last day. They walked us the last inning of the first game, and then they walked us on Monday. Other than that, they threw a lot of strikes and played pretty good. But this is going to be a step up in competition for us.
Thank you, Coach.
Hutch, go ahead.
Yeah, Dave, you brought up the play where Kojal basically drew the runner's interference. So just kind of curious, what was your perspective? What did you think of that play that he kind of instigated?
Well, it's his baseline. A lot of guys would have stopped and let that ball come to them. If he does that, the runner's safe at first and the runner's safe at second. So they got 2 on and no outs. He saw the right-handed hitter was going to try to push it past our lefty, started coming in, and we've talked to our second basemen about it. That is your baseline, and you just go attack the ball. The runner has to get around you, and obviously he just stuck his nose right in there and kept going for the ball, and it worked out for us. I thought it was a really, really headsy baseball play.
And along those lines, just kind of how would you assess your defense as a whole? I think you fielded 985. Just how did you feel this past weekend?
Well, we'll start with the outfield. I thought outfield play was pretty average, and they know that. There were some balls that there was some miscommunication. There was some. I felt like a couple of times we needed to be more aggressive and just take control of the ball, and we're going to get that worked out today. And then on the defensive side, infield wise, I felt like that there was probably maybe one double play more that should have been turned, just with a little more urgency. There was maybe another one that there wasn't a grip on the ball as much on the turn, but the third base play was outstanding. Short, same way. First base, we kicked one ball, it spun out of the first baseman's glove that, started a big inning for him to tie it and take the lead or whatever happened there, take the lead. And, other than that, there were some nice plays. I thought Kendall made a great play and right on that ball that was just smoked, and he got up on it and made a catch. And I think that was the lead off an inning. So I would grade us out pretty good. But, me, I'm all about the defense. And if we keep pitching the way we did this weekend, we'll give up some offense to put defenders in there that are a little bit better.
Matt, you got anything else? All right, Coach. Thanks for your time.
Okay.
See you in Arlington.
See you guys.